you're frustrated and thinking, why am I not healed yet? You're not failing. You might just be focusing on the wrong thing. My dear fellow survivor, welcome. I'm so happy you're here with me today because today I answer a question that so many survivors have before joining our Music Can Heal Me coaching journey. And it's a question I had myself for a long time. This question is, if I'm constantly wondering when will I heal and nothing seems to change, when am I going to heal? When am I going to see progress? When am I going to feel healed? Rightfully so. And the answer lies in shifting your focus from focusing on the outcome, which is healing, to starting to focus on the process that you're following in order to heal. You see, when I made this switch, I realized that I was so focused on the outcome, which is healing. When will I heal? When will I feel better? When will it all be over? I was so focused on that. I mean, I used to count the days since I became a survivor. I used to compare timelines, right? Year 1 versus year 2. How much did I change? How much did I heal? And constantly seeking healing. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm keeping my nervous system in overdrive. I'm constantly pressuring myself to do more, to heal more, to do it faster, and also feeling pressure from those around me, right? I'm sure you can relate. And I realized, well, that's not the way to heal, right? Healing is not something we chase. Healing is something that we create, and we create through a process, right? So I stopped focusing on timelines. I stopped focusing on the outcome I was trying to achieve, which is healing. And I started focusing instead on what is my process to get there? Because healing is just a byproduct of the processes we follow and practice, right? So instead of chasing the feeling of relief and of healing, right, and instantly wanting that every single day and looking for it everywhere, especially online. If anybody tells you that healing is instant, by the way, please run away, because there's nothing that is more false than that. Healing is not something that is instant. Healing takes, like I said, a practice of certain processes we follow in order for healing to emerge, right? So, like I said, when I stopped focusing on timelines and pressuring and wanting to do more and faster and get results quicker, I started accepting, okay, it's a slow process, but also started accepting that I was now focusing on creating safety as opposed to instant relief, right? Because at first, when I was focusing on creating instant relief every single day, whether through numbing or trying to find a cure, I was constantly, like I said, overloading my nervous system, right? That does not allow for processing. That does not allow for integration. That does not lead to healing. So when I started looking at, okay, what's my process to heal? What are the practices that I do every day? What are the boundaries that I enforce with myself and with others, right? Am I speaking to myself in a positive way, or am I constantly berating myself because I'm not doing enough and I'm not creating enough change, enough healing? Well, things started shifting, right? Because if I practice feeling more safe every day through certain processes, then now the nervous system can feel, wow, okay, so I'm now feeling safe enough to process and integrate and approach things that maybe before I wasn't approaching. So instead of chasing that instant healing, instead of looking for it everywhere except in your soul, stop that. Stop that and start focusing on how can I create just a little bit more safety today? What can I say no to or yes to that's going to help me a little more today? What boundary can I start enforcing that maybe before I wasn't enforcing? And then you'll see that healing is just a byproduct of the decisions you make, right? And it's most definitely not instant. It requires practice. So once you start accepting that, just keep practicing. And you'll see that healing is now safer, is now allowed, and naturally, organically, it will reveal itself. So just trust the process. And my dear fellow survivor, I say this with all my heart. Please take good care of yourself. And of course, may you be filled with music and heal.